Good afternoon, everybody. Today is March 13, 2016. I'm going to be going over my weekly trade ideas for this week and also reviewing the ones that I did last week. For those of you that don't follow me, this is my Twitter handle at BarryMohan81, and there you can find links to my blog that I haven't written in a while, YouTube video, and the weekly webinar link that we do on Wednesdays. Also, you can find a link there to the chat that I'm associated with. It's awesomecalls.com. So let's jump right into it. First one on last week's list was tap. Okay, tap was here. 3-6. Okay, so I was looking for a pop to 91. You got $90.64 on this day. Pull it back to the 80s for a move over 91. So it was just, I think this was perfect there if you played it the right way. Blue. What was I looking for this one? Pull back to 50-50. Okay, so that was here. Pull back to 50-50. Okay, so right off the bat you got the pullback here, and it was a pretty big pullback. So it was just a wash day. So anyways, if you did just jump in short on it, on the pullback here, you got quite a huge wash on that first day there, and I wouldn't assume that anybody took it into any deeper than that. Cyber was the next one on the list. I was looking for Cyber to pop to 41. Okay, so let's see, on that day, the first day it opened here, you got a pop right up to 40.16. So if you went long right out, you would have gotten that move to the upside. Pop to 41 for short area. Okay, so if you popped it up there, took it up long at the first time there, for the short area, I mean, trade was excellent there. EROS was the next one on the list. I was looking for a continuation candle over 1045. What was the continuation? You got, well, you didn't even get 1045. You got 981. But that's a pretty big upside move there. So that I was looking for a continuation candle on this one, and you definitely got a few days of upside on that one. UTHR was the next one on the list. 133.30 for the pop. So you got up here, which is 133.73, and short 133.30 for pop and then short. So that was you got the pop right there. You got about a 6-point pop. Then you got about 10 points on the short side. Next one on the list was MON. I was looking for this one here, bullish engulfing on the daily. Watch for 91. Chart came up to $91.19 long. Next one on the list was MCRB. I was looking for what was this one here? 26 pullback. Okay, so if you went short right on the idea, because obviously a chart's sitting in the 30s and I'm calling for 26, so it's a short. If you did the short on the first day, you got a huge wash and a good 5 points on that one. Next one on the list was ZLTQ. What's it say? Higher lows. Okay, so I was watching higher lows here. I just take higher lows over the 813. I have all my notes written down, so when I'm rereading this, I'm rereading them from the notes from last week. Okay, so the pullback here, 24 break. Okay, so I didn't actually go over my area because I was looking for a 24 break. A note says higher low over 813 EMA, 24 breakout. Okay, so it didn't even break the 24 really for you to, and hold, you know. and for you to really get into the trade long. But it's still over the 13 and the 8 EMA, and it's still kind of flagging here, so it's still in works, I guess. I gave you a little one last week, Gene, because that wedge was just tightening up, and I said watch for it over 237, then to go long. And it came up to 240, but it never held for a close over, and it just flushed right in. So if you played it where it did not close over 237, and to take it short, then you actually came back in the money here. But I mean, 20 cents move really, so not a big deal. As far as I gave a few overextended charts to look at. SSYS was on there. That shorted. That came back really nice there. NE, that came back really nice. MUR came back. And also Joy was on that list, and that came back. Funny thing is, Joy's back on this week's list, so let's get back into that. First one on the list for the 13th of March 2016 is RMTI. Now, what am I looking at on this chart? Obviously, it's a broken down chart here, okay? That's a given. What I am looking at is the higher lows that it's printing, and the fact that we have a huge bullish engulfing down here. So what am I looking for is, I think it actually pushes up a little bit more, up to about 690 or so, then comes back into this trend. Now, if the trend holds, you can take some long at the bottom of the trend and obviously risk the trend break, because if it breaks, it's going to pull further down. So if the chart starts flushing and you see it break the trend, then you can grab that short for more downside move. But if it pulls right back down to the trend, even if it doesn't pop, if it pulls right back down to the trend and does not break, you can try some long. So what I'm looking for here, as per my note, 690 pop, bring it back down to the $6 area for a long if it holds the trend. Next one on the list is FIT. I like this pattern down at the bottom here. I like the fact that it's making a continuous higher low as we keep going up. I'm actually long FIT over the weekend, and I like the fact that the 8 and the 13 crossed over. So if it comes back down a little bit lower, I will probably be exiting my position, but then I'll re-enter it if it keeps on this trend over here for a long shot. So I'm looking at FIT to actually pop to about 16, and then I'm probably drop my position and re-short it, bring it back down to the trend here about 13, and then try some more on the long side. So what I'm looking for is a pop to 16 and pull back down into the 14. Next on the list is Dust. Yeah, so I like the bullish harami down at the bottom, with a possible double bottom right down here at about 322. So I'm playing the double bottom here and the bullish harami here, looking for a more upside move. Obviously, stochastics are red. They're cold, and I do have a crossover on my MACD. So I took this here on Friday also at 345, and I'm long that. CMG. So this is a harami star right here sitting on top of the 50 EMA. So I expect that to hold for now. What I really want to see is a push up to about 530, and then we flush it. So if we get a nice bump here, a nice push up to 530, I'm going to be looking for a head and shoulder pattern and then flush it under here. TK is the next one on the list. I do like the fact that we do have an 813 cross here. Even though the chart washed under the 50 EMA, it quickly kind of reclaimed the 13 area here, so I like it. I like the fact that stochastics are crossing up here. So what we're looking for ultimately, because the chart got rejected by the 50 EMA here already, what we're looking for is this bottom line to kind of retain its strength down here. So it needs to actually hold the trend that it's on right now. If it holds the trend here right about the $8 level, I would take some long in anticipation of a 945 breakout here, which should be the 50 EMA. Obviously set your stops under the trend, because if it breaks there it could flush more. Once playing these types of charts that are broken, you want to make sure that there's a reason for you being in, and the only reason for you right now is this trend and the fact that this with the 50 EMA and this trend line here is making a wedge, and as the wedge tightens up it'll have an explosive move either to the upside, or if it stops you out, then it's gonna flush. So you can take some long on the pullback here to 812, anticipate the move to 945, hold some for a possible move over the 50 EMA if it breaks out. Next one on the list is MAR, M-A-R. So I see a lot of topping candles over here. My MACD is starting to curl down a little bit. I don't like that. I don't like these topping candles. So what I'm looking here for is any pop up to about 69.50, 69. What do I have on the list on my notes? Next 69.25 area for a short, and then you risk this high over here. So it's obviously going to be a tight area for stops, but I do like it for a short. Bring it back down to 66. Next one on the list is Bofi. So I like Bofi. I do like the fact that it's flagging. I don't like huge green candles into that, so I'm definitely looking for a pullback on this one. Let's say 1875, somewhere around here. 1875 pullback. Make sure you don't break the 50 EMA, the 8 EMA, or the 13 EMA on your pullback. Once it finds a little bottom right here around this area, you can take some long for a price target over 20. Obviously you have to make sure that these this trend over here does not get broken, this flag remains intact, and a push over 20 is your target. Next on the list is Csgs. So big candle, huge bearish engulfing here, short cover pop. I'm looking for a pop back on this one to 38, then flush it back down to 34. And number 10 on this week's list is Htwr, tight wedge. Okay, I love these types of plays because the move either to the upside or the downside is often a very nice one to trade. So what I would do in this case is I do like the fact that it pushed up. It bled out a little bit slowly though, so I'm more bullish on it for a move up to about 35 and a tight risk at the bottom here, holding that trend to the bottom. So I'm more bullish on this one with a price target of 35. Okay, so that's the 10 for this week. Now as far as what I see for the general market, SPY, I think it's gonna head up a little bit more. not too crazy about it going much higher here. And let's see. Yeah, so I don't know, maybe 204 or so. Maybe if it even gets that high, 204. And so I'm not too confident in much of a bigger move here to the upside, but I do think it goes up a little bit, but I'm not talking about a huge move to the upside. As far as oil goes, I'm watching DWTI down here now because it's coming to the range that I like it. A little bit lower here for me, so that means that I think crude can pop a little bit more, but then it's gonna flush after that, so just be aware that crude's not gonna go up forever. And as far as gold goes, I think gold's a little bit too much here. Already have a cross down on my MACD. Stochastics already crossed down, and the volume's dying out up at the top here. So what I'm looking for, if gold was to play again, it would pop GLD here, pop to like 221, then for a flush down. So I'm definitely bearish on the metal. Anyway, so that's the 10 for this week. Rmti, FIT, DUST, JOY, CMG, TK, MAR, BOFI, CSGS, HTWR. I am bullish a little bit on the market. nearing the top end for crude, and I'm definitely seeing top end for gold. So that's it. Hope we can have a fun trading week this week, and let me know what you think about them next week. Or let me know what you think about the ones last week. Love to hear your input. Take care.